Hi knitters, welcome to PJKnits. My name's Penny, I live in Central Illinois, and I'm a knitter, a blogger, and a YouTube podcaster. And welcome. Welcome to my little knitting journal here on YouTube. Today is Thursday, December 17th. It is 17 degrees outside at about 9:45 Central Time. It's a little windy. Last night we had, ferocious winds last night. But I kicked up the heat, put on my woolly socks, and hunkered down underneath some knitting and just enjoyed the evening. So that's kind of what I did. I'm not poo-pooing the weather because it is a pretty much blue sky today, and the sun is out, which was nice coming through the door earlier here. It's going to get into the 20s, I think, today, and then gradually this week it's going to climb from the, to the 30s to the 50s. So fall is still here. So in Central Illinois, and that's we had a little bit of snow earlier in the week, but it went away with melted quickly. It was fun to watch, and if you follow me on Instagram, I'm PJKnits there, and you would have seen a little photo that I went out and took on the porch. And I still wonder, those neighbors who are up or still around were wondering what the heck I was doing out there. Yes, I was out in sandals and taking a photograph in the snow. So let's talk some knitting. Grab your knitting if you want, and a beverage, a cuppa or a glass of something, and let's kick back and let's talk about some knitting. Black Friday shopping. How did you all do? I am happy to report that I came away with nothing. I tried really hard all weekend. I started on Thursday, scoping out the websites and thinking about the deals that I knew were coming. And you know what? It just didn't happen. And I'm okay with that because I wanted to buy, but I just couldn't find anything that, to go to match with what I had. And then I kept coming back to my wonderful PYS and all of the list full of knits that I want to cast on and be knitting. And I'm like, nothing just was there that said, oh, this is your next knit, because I always have a next knit, right? For sure. So I came away with nothing. And I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So I'm just going to talk a real quickie, when I say quickie, it never happens, but about Advents and the Advents that I'm doing. I'm just going to give you a little update. In a couple of weeks at the end of the month, I will give you a whole update of all the hopefully finished objects, but there's a whole lot of people doing them out on Vlogmases, opening up theirs each day. And I say high five to those who do Vlogmases, because there is just like no way I would ever have content or time or the inclination to edit all those videos. So this is my kind of like update, beginning almost and towards the end. First one I'm doing is Gnana's Visit. This is by Sarah Shara, and it is one of her gnomes. I've never done one of her gnomes, but I've seen lots of them knit up. I have a couple of her patterns. She was at a ZK that I was at a few years back, I believe, and that's where I first found out about her. And so when I saw this one this year, I thought it'd be fun to do. So I am doing Gnana's Visit. This is over the course of 21 days. It is, and we're going to knit a gnome, and we have no idea where it's going, right? And housed in my cutesy bag from Molly Klein Design from 2016. And sorry, wrong bag. Erase that from my chip basket. That's where it's being housed in. This was last year's. And this is the clue through yesterday, technically through the 3rd, because not every day do we have knitting on this, which I'm happy for, because Sunday was a lot of knitting if you're doing many Advents, let's put it that way, or if you're doing multiples. So here is the beginning of mine. Have no idea where we're going with this, but I love this stitch that we did, learn something new. And I opted to do green and black to start with. And I ordered the kit from Timber Yarns. I have some of her yarn in my PYS. I've just not used it yet, but I'm loving the feel of this yarn. So I bought a kit from her in 4. And the thing that was so cool, I first bought another kit that I think would be wonderful for a grandpa one. I bought that from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and I believe I showed that last time. I bought that. I think that would be a fun one to do a grandpa or a Gnana. I don't know what papa and papa one, but I thought that might be fun if I liked this to do a grandfather type one as well. So I really bought the Timber Yarn ones because it comes with these little glasses. That was one of the things. I just love the advents that give you little things. Look at those. Aren't they adorable there? So I really bought the kit for the glasses, believe it or not. And it came with hot chocolate, and it came with these cute little stitch stoppers for sure. So I really bought it for the accessories. Truthfully, I bought it for the glasses because I was going to just order the glasses for my other kit. And you had to buy like 6 of them. And I'm like, I don't need 6 pairs of glasses that I know of. So anyway, that is the Sarah Shira one. And I have not done the clue today yet. Today is, I believe, will be a knitting day on one. But I've not opened it up yet because I didn't want to sit down and knit on it and then try and show it with spoilers. So that is one that I'm doing. And also then every day I am doing a Door County. Today's is Jamaica Me Crazy. I love this. It's like 3rd or 4th year I've gotten this. The first year was a gift, and then after that I was sold. And for 24 days, you get a full pot of a different flavor, which gives you a chance to figure out what of their flavors that you like for the following year or some during the year. So I'm loving that each new day there's a new flavor. And some of them I have tried before. One that I had on Monday, I think, was totally not one that I had before, and I loved it. So I put it on my list. And I'll talk about that all in a couple of weeks, or maybe I'll try and do a little update next week, just on the advents and things like that. But anyway, I love this, and I just saw on their website in the last week or so, you could also buy an advent of just 12 days, which would be fun as well. The 24, I believe, was right around $60, and then I think shipping on top of that. But for me, it was well worth it. I like their coffee. Not just Advent time. So that is one that I do every morning. And then I am also doing the Woolens and Nosh. That is in the Molly Klein bag from 2016. And I can remember when the bag came because I ordered 2 of those that year. I had foot surgery. And so during the holidays, I had my foot up. I was up for like 6 to 7 weeks. I was off that foot. So I did a lot of knitting, and I ordered a couple of her Christmas bags, and these were kind of specially made at the time. But these are housing my Woolens and Nosh sock. And if you are doing this and you're watching this before you've done the 5th day, turn away right now so that you don't see what the 5th clue is. Although I saw from Michelle's video on YouTube that not everybody gets the same stripes, but not in the same order by the way they dye. So, what I have got on mine is not necessarily what you have on yours. But here is day through day 5. And I am doing it on a 1.5 double point needle. That's my needle of choice. Kendra told me that this was a plump yarn, and it is a plump yarn. So I'm holding out my thoughts on whether I love it until I get more of it done. It may be because I'm doing a plumper yarn than I normally would use, or because in the last month I've done a lot of socks, my Halloween and my Christmas one, a lot of intense, and then now these, and what I'm going to say is intense sock knitting on, a smaller circumference. So it may be that, or maybe the plumpness of the yarn combined with the 1.5, right? But I prefer a lighter weight. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm on the stockinette portion of the leg right now. So we'll see if I'm loving it, when I'm not knitting as much on close circumferences as it would be. So the thing about Advents, which I love, is there's always something to open each day. But the thing I don't love about Advents is that it takes me away from my other knitting. And so I'm really giving thought to whether I want to even do an Advent at all next year because of that, because it takes away from the winter sweater knitting that I want to be doing at this time. So the last one is the swap of 4. That's for a group of 4 ladies, 3 local, 1 in Indiana, that sends each in the group 24 minis of 20-gram skeins in each day, so you get to open it up from a different person, and it's fun to look at those because you see different dyers for sure. But I haven't decided this year what I want mine to be. I've had a hard time deciding, let's put it that way. But I think I'm narrowing it down as of a while ago when I put this particular one on. But anyway, they come in a little hidden baggie, and you pull them out. And today's is from Peggy, and I wanted to show how she does this. She did a little card for each in the inside, and she has popped that through. Isn't that cool? And everybody puts on what their yarn is and then the content. And this one is Maggie Loves Yarn, hand dyed in Bluffton, South Carolina, bought at Low Country Shrimp and Knits. And Peggy's always good for some yarns that we've never seen because through her travels. And so this is today's. Now I've been having such a time because I've been watching Vlogmases and following people on Instagram, trying to figure out what mine wanted to be, and I just couldn't come up with anything. I thought about a muscle burl, and I'm like, I don't want to put all these into a muscle burl. I wanted to kind of save them for something special for myself. I thought about a jelly roll blanket, and then as my friend Amy said, doing that huge mitered square over many years and several Advent seasons, I'm just spent on it. I'm just like, I don't want to embark on another scrappy blanket. And so I had looked at a scarf to do, but I wanted something relatively easy and simple. And I just couldn't decide what to do. So I'm kind of I'm just putting them in a bag and waiting until this morning when I was putzing around, and I did a first take, as it would be, of this episode. And I pulled out my Dust of Snow. And this Dust of Snow is a pattern by Helen Stewart. I knit this in 2021. It is out of Chelsea Luxe Yarns, their Sparkle. And I believe that year was the first year that I embarked upon an Advent from her, because I had been watching her YouTube channel for some time. And I decided that I needed a treat. Now, what I do remember in 2021, we were in full mode of cancer treatment here at the house. And I remember how much Bob loved each day when I would open this up downstairs. And if I hadn't opened it, or if I'd opened it when he wasn't around, he's like, well, what was today's colorway? And so it brings back great memories of that. And it was a great knit to get through those times. I would go upstairs at night and knit on this, and so it brings back those memories. But it was a fun, interesting knit, and I did it with a strand of cream mohair. But I will tell you, and you will find out from, if you look on Helen Stewart's Ravelry page, that this is a huge, very long wrap. And when I stand up, and if I just hang it down as a wrap, excuse me, it comes almost to the floor, and I'm 5'4". So, but it was one of those things that I'm just going to knit it and see where it comes. But as I was wearing it today, I thought I might re-knit this with my minis that I've got. I'd have to buy some mohair. I have some cream mohair, but I really slated it for another sweater. It's in a whip that I'll talk about later in a new year, in a new episode. But I'm thinking I like this, and I like it with the mohair. I might go back and find what mohair I use for that, and I might knit this again in my minis from the swap of 4. What I would do, as you can see, it's probably 18 inches. I would actually add more stitches to this because I want about maybe 8 to 10 more, because as I sit here, it doesn't go back, it hits mid back. And so what I really would like to have is a much longer, wider shawl. I'd like to wear this like right now when it's chilly in the morning, just to wrap around. So I'm thinking this might be one. And I'm just going to show you, I'll show you how long it is as well. Here, I'll start. And all the colors. I love this in the sparkle. And I still have one of her kits in the sparkle. So it may be one of those things that either the swap or 4, or if I do another one in sparkle. This is perfect to go around if you're heading out in the winter and the snow's blowing and the wind's blowing and it's cold. This is a great one to wrap around gazillion times around your neck, as you would see. But here, I'm going to just hold this up so you can see all the wonderful colors that were in it. And I would do this again. These were curated when in the kit, you can see, to go with the next one. So that's why I'm thinking maybe I would do that in the sparkle that I've got. So I'm thinking this might be a remake of either the swap of 4, or it might be such that I pull out those other sparkles so I can use them as 2. I have that sparkle one from last year or the year before, and I just, it was one of those I can't decide what to do with either. I thought a sweater. But more and more that I'm wearing this today, I might want to rethink that and do another one of these, or just a wrap that doesn't have the points on it, but is squared off. I think that might be an option. So if you have ideas, this one I remember was fairly simple to do as you were knitting along, and that's really what I want. I want things that, give me a little bit of brain power, but yet I can still do while I'm sitting and knitting and watching Vlogmases and things like that. So that is the Advent portion of this, and I'll be back at some point in time in the next couple of weeks to give you an update on that. But I am loving this. Yeah, I'm on the search for the mohair. So even though I am patting myself in the back for not using and buying it Black Friday, I think second week December buying it may be in order. So we'll see. Stay tuned on that one. So, okay, so let's talk about what I have been knitting. And this is a half finished objects right now. I have finished one of my turtle purl socks. This one is done. This one is almost done, and is what I've been trying to finish because I want to be done with it. And I've kind of got, as far as my whips are concerned, I have sat down and made a plan of attack. Because as you know, and I've talked, when you do Advents, you know, I feel like I have to keep up with those each day. And then when I'm done with those, then I'm like, okay, now you need to make a plan of what you would like to finish. And definitely the Christmas sock is nearing the finish, and I want to be done with it. And once I'm done with this sock, I'm done with socks for right now. So that is really kind of like a, you know, a half finished objects, but almost done can be. I want to, realistically, I want to knock this out in the next, by tomorrow, I want it done because I'm like over socks. Now, an interesting thing I want to talk about here, and I'm on the hunt to figure out why. I like 1.5. I think we found that as the sweet spot. But you know what's interesting? I use 3, and I might change this up to 4. But what I'm finding is I do 32 stitches on one by itself, and then I do 16 and 16 on the other ones. I don't get ladders between the 32 and the 16, but yet I get a ladder. I'm getting now, all of a sudden, a ladder between the two 16s. And so I'm not sure why that's happening all of a sudden. Blatant ladders. And so I'm going to fix that, but it's just interesting. I don't know why. I don't know why. And so it's maybe a thing for the new year. But I think I've hit the sweet spot on a 1.5, and that's just a little digression as far as when it comes to the sock knitting for sure. So as I said, I have like a plan of attack for my whips because I want to get them done. I want to get some of these done, and they all are like, I want to say they're kind of time sensitive, you know. And so I've made like the Advents are first up. That's kind of my priority every morning when I get up, to get those done, to keep up with them, I think. And then my second up would be the Christmas sock, to knit on that. That is really what I'm concentrating on. I also have my pig. I have nothing to show further on that. I have, in my mind, I have a 12/26 deadline on that. That's my kind of deadline thought process on that, so that I can get rid of it on the 28th. That's kind of my thought. We'll see, right? And then next up, I have a test knit. And I would like to have this done by the first part of January, the first week of January. I am doing Get Out of the Pool by Beth McDonald Stone. And this is done in pieces. So I'll have to sew it up. And you know I'm not fond of that. But I have one side, the front side, back side done. Now I can't remember, but they're both almost identical. And the point of the thing in this particular knit is that you don't have pooling, and I have some striping. It's the yarn that I purchased at my local yarn shop. And so here's my front, or rather probably my back, and I'm working on the front now. And so she is publishing this on the 8th of January. So I really, right after the first of the year, would like to have this done. And I don't see a reason why it won't be done by then. And the reason is I bought the yarn at my local yarn shop, the Fiber Universe. And so I take this on Tuesdays and Fridays and knit on it. It's a nice, easy garter stitch knit. And so it's DK weight. And so it's kind of easy, an easy knit to take with them, to take there. And plus I'm using yarn that I purchased at her shop. So that's kind of like in my sequence of what I want to do between now and a certain date. And of course I have others that I will pop in, and we'll talk about those next time. Let's talk about an upcoming cal that we're going to be doing. This initiated through Cheryl through my Saturday night Zoom, which is a PJKnits Zoom we do every Saturday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. All of the information is in my Ravelry group. The Ravelry group is also PJKnits, and it's a wonderful group of knitters. Every Saturday night, some come, some go across the country, across the world. We have a couple from Australia, and I'm calling these people my friends or my Saturday night dates, because we've been doing this for a couple of years now. Have we a couple years? More than a year. And I am so grateful and thankful for them each Saturday night. They're my Saturday night dates. And very rarely do I want to miss. I only miss when I'm going over to celebrate birthdays or things with my grandchildren over in Iowa. That's the only time I miss, whenever possible. And then I'm so grateful and thankful for Marie, who stands in for me on Saturday nights. Thank you, Marie, for always being there. I do appreciate so much you being there. But anyway, it initiated through Cheryl on Saturday night. She's like, hey, would the group like to do a knit along? And so we kicked around some possibilities, and we have decided to call this the Unite Cal. And because we are united in our knitting and in our friendships. And so we have chose 2 particular patterns that we will be knitting on. And the first one is what I'll be knitting on. Mine is out of my book that I've had in my library, West Knits, Best Knits, and has been on my list that I've wanted to do it forever. And this is the Vertices Unite. And there's a small version and a large version. A small version and a large version. Small version and a large version. It reminds me of when I was a kid. And also there's a thing out there that says, you know, round yon bird John. Well, I can't anyway, erase that. Forget that. Never mind. I never was good for the punchlines. Anyway, Vertices Unite. And that's what I'm going to be knitting on. And then it came up that others, you know, in the group said, well, I've already knit that. I want to knit another one, or I want to knit it. It's been on my list forever, or I've knit it, but I don't want to knit another one. And so we came up with Textures Unite, also another Stephen West, very much in the mode of Vertices Unites, only in textures. And so some are going to be doing it. And these are not the greatest of pictures. But very much like that. And so we're going to be doing Vertices or Textures Unite in our Unite Cal. Now, when is it starting? It is starting January 1st at 1 p.m. Central Time. We are going to do a Zoom cast on that day, New Year's Day, on the Zoom. And that information, the Zoom, again, is the same one that we do on Saturday night. All that information is in the header of the PJKnits Ravelry group. 1 p.m. James, don't cast on until January 1st. You have enough knitting to do between now and then. I adore James. James, if you've not watched James is Dude Knits. He is back podcasting again, and he's a delight, and you will love watching his videos. You will get some inspiration from him. He is a magnificent knitter. It's so much fun to see where he's going, and he joins me on Fiber Fridays, you know, doing the woolly wools, and I'm so pleased. But so please, if you don't watch James on Dude Knits, please do, because he's your dude. And anyway, he is of like minds, let's say that, wanting to cast on everything. I totally get that. And but James, don't do it on this one. Now, it's highly likely when he does cast on, he'll be done in 3 days, and we'll all be just in the first section, which is fine. But anyway, James will be joining us, as well as all of this, most of the Saturday Night Zoomers. We would love to have you join us as well. And I'll open up a thread on Ravelry group, and I would love for you to share your yarns with us. Now, as far as yarns is concerned, for me, I didn't do it. but I wanted to order the Knit Picks Chroma yarn when it was on sale at Knit Picks last weekend. I would say to you, go out and check out the projects on Ravelry. There is one in Chroma. If you watch James's current episode, you will see a picture. You will see the yarn that he bought. I really wanted to buy that yarn. I really wanted to do that, but yet I really wanted to use yarn from my PYS. So I am not 100% sure because I have possibles and I need to just dig in it and figure out what I want to do for mine. But all of a sudden last night, after watching James, I remembered something that I cut bait on a couple of months ago. And it was, this yarn's been around since, oh gosh, many years back. Oh, 6, 7 years. It was slated for this wonderful shoulder shawl that my friend Pam knit, and we were going. It was just beautiful, and when she still wears it, I still remember how lovely it was. But all of a sudden, it hit me that that was not going to be my vibe. You know, that was not something that I wanted to continue knitting. So I cut bait on it, and I have enough yarn in PYS to do it, but I'm just not sure if for my Vertices Unite it needs different colorways. If I want to experiment with all of the colors that I have in my PYS, some oceany colors that I have, or if I want to use this that I cut bait on, and it's from Jojo Land Melody. It's a super wash. It's 100%. And if I want to do the thing where it's all the same colors and just let the yarn do its thing, but here it is. And I know that this is a gradual fade in the yarn because I've seen them out there. So it has a little mauve and some purple. There is some blue in that for sure. There's just so many things. And I have enough of it. And so I'm wondering if that may be something that I want to try, or if I want to go to my more yarns in my PYS. Definitely will come out of my PYS at this point. So I'm just kind of thinking maybe that's the one. So anyway, we hope that you will join us in our Unite Cal. We're looking forward to that for sure. And that will come out on the 1st of, we'll start the 1st of January for that, on a Zoom, and go from there. And some will go quick and some will be like me and not as quick, but we hope you will join us if you're free. Okay. The last thing that I want to show you is from my library. I love, this is such a fun book, and it's really kind of sort of appropriate for the gnomes right now. This is a book that I picked up many years ago off of the Schoolhouse Press website. Meg had talked about it. There was another one, Trouble with Trolls. I also have it. This one is called Christmas Trolls by Jan Brett, and it's still available through Amazon, and really purchased it because of some of the theme that's in it. But this Jan Brett and her pictures, and I'm just going to read a bit from the inside of here, of the in the inside. It's a $17 book when I purchased it back sometime. But anyway, Christmas is Treva's favorite time of year, especially the preparations, finding the perfect tree, decorating the house, and making presents for her family. But this year is different. Small things are disappearing. Then small things of the presents themselves. Treva is mystified until early one morning she sees a small creature scurrying across the snow, carrying the Christmas pudding. Treva races after it into the forest where her adventures are just beginning. Christmas Trolls is a glorious celebration of the season as Treva confronts two irresistible trolls who don't understand Christmas. Jan Brett's exquisite paintings set against beautiful, intricate borders give readers a magical Christmas full of surprises. Look closely at the borders for the glimpses of the troll's special little helper, and he's not an elf. And that's what really drew me to the book in the beginning, and is the wonderful paintings that she has done in here. I adore it as an adult, and I know that children would also adore it as well. It is so sweet, and it's just adorable. And there's some knitting theme in it as well. So, you know, if you're maybe making a gnome and giving it to somebody, you may want to pick up this book also and give it to them. And here's the little porcupine. The paintings, the pictures, the photos, the very much Scandinavian vibe of it, for sure. Just is a wonderful book, and somewhat I had forgotten about it, and so I'm bringing it back out, and I'll put it on my my table to look at and read as well. It's just a wonderful book, and so I wanted to share that again from my library, for sure. Okay, so that's all I've got for you this time. Next time I'm going to talk about my 2025 journal. I've already got it and started putting some things in it, and I'll do an update on Advents. Maybe I'll do that in a week or so, because I know that people don't have a long amount of time to sit back and watch podcasts. There's so many other things pulling at you, and one thing and another, and Christmas knitting. Other than my Advents and the pig, I really don't have any Christmas knitting, and I like it that way. I think it's a good way to go in December, to have some, to be able to knit whatever you want. So that's all I've got for you this time. I'm off to work on my my Advents for today. So until next time, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend about the video if you would. I will, in the next couple of days, have all the show notes down below. I would like for you to comment as well, and as a little Christmas present for everyone, not for everyone, for if you've stuck it out this long, so sorry. Just comment below on anything, and I have another sandy bag, very festive sandy bag, that I am going to give away. It has this wonderful vinyl bottom, which I am loving. It is a little bit of sparkle to your holiday. Look at that inside. So we'll have a holiday giveaway the next time for the sandy bag for one commenter below. Just comment on anything, what you're knitting on, how you're spending your holidays, if you're gift knitting, if there's some vlogs out there you're watching, just comment on anything. And in appreciation for you sticking out and watching, we'll give that away in the next episode. I am PJKnits on Instagram. I am PJKnits1 is where my projects can be found on Ravelry. Our Ravelry group is PJKnits, and I have a blog, which is www.pjknits.blogspot.com. And that's it for this time. I will see you next time. Stay warm, stay cool, wherever you're at. Take your knitting along. And until next time, again, thank you so much for watching, and bye.